That's not great.
Word.
No.
Oh, well, you're getting it.
All right, that's
it's about as good as Jay's game right now.
You know what? I don't want to be copyright. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I can't do it too good. I can't do it to my full extent.
You're right.
Or you have to pay money.
You got to keep it.
Yeah, we don't have money.
Subliminal a bit, yeah. So it's a strategy. You're doing it on purpose.
Exactly.
Just like the Outcasts. So we just finished episode 4, POV. What are your initial impressions from the episode?
I think it wasn't a predictable outcome.
No.
So I like that.
Yeah.
I like that it
Kept
wasn't
you on your toes.
Exactly. Like nothing that I predicted happened. There's even moments where I wrote in my notes that like, oh, this is going to happen. And it didn't.
So this episode, the Summer 7 didn't even make an appearance again. We know of them from last episode, but we didn't see them really powwow or get together this episode for any sort of strategy.
Savage 7.
I'll get it. The Sausage 7.
No.
I'll get it. JC, Lynn, and Gino, their romance is a sizzling. I'm kind of halfway surprised. I guess I shouldn't be, though, that Stephanie became sort of the third wheel in that.
I guess he wasn't interested. And I think she had an idea that she was interested in Jace, or he was interested in Jace. I mean...
JC Lynn.
Well, I know, but they call her Jace.
Yeah, that's interchangeable. I wonder what she prefers.
I like Jace, because it's easier to say.
There was something I noticed that I want to point out. So right when they were pulling for the names, I guess they weren't pulling names. They were
spinning with the wheel.
Wheel of Fortuning names to play in the veto comp. Jay said something in the DR that was sort of telling onto how he's sort of working the game. When everyone's name was revealed for the veto comp, he didn't say, like, yes, I'm working with these people. If one of them wins, I'm golden. He said it's people he can beat. He's like, yes, these are all people I can beat. So that tells me that he didn't see them as any allies when their names were revealed. He saw them as just people he could overcome to win the POV, even though we saw conversations before that whole ceremony that they were like, hey, I'm leaning towards Jay to stay in. So I found that very interesting how there was talks about keeping Jay, that Jay wasn't a part of, that didn't make it to Jay. And he sort of inadvertently threw them under the bus as these are people I can beat instead of these are people who would have my back.
I'm actually really surprised because I think that in this veto competition, Jay had the numbers. He had the best chances. Like literally everybody was on his side. So if anybody but Jace won, he probably would have been safe. And that did not happen. Because Jace was actually really good for the game. I don't think there was another veto, like another competition that she just owned it. It was her competition to win.
Yeah, I mean, Jace Lynn has a tattoo that says balance right on her.
Yeah, which is
arm.
Just very telling.
Yeah, as soon as they revealed that, I was like, if she doesn't win, it'll be a tragedy.
Even when she dropped her little cake thingy, she was back on it, just doing her, she was doing laps basically over other competitors.
After, I think it was 51 minutes or something, her second layer collapsed and she had to start over. But she rebounded and got back on the horse faster than other people finished their first layer. It was incredible.
I also am really surprised. I feel like that veto competition really shut me up and what I thought about her. I thought Jace was a floater. I really thought she was gonna ride on the coattails of other players, especially Gino, because I think that he was trying to help her. He doesn't want to campaign too hard for her because, he doesn't want to show any biases, I guess. But I was really surprised by her game. Because, like, when she had the conversation with Kyle right before the veto, I was surprised that that's, like, one of the first times they really had to talk about game.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the first week. That's exactly what you should be. Like, you should be talking to everybody. You should be trying to strategize or, you know, just see where they're at.
Yeah.
So the fact that she had the first conversation with him then, I was like, it's a little too late for that.
Well, you find your cliques, you know, your people, and you sort of stick with them. And Kevin and Jess have become the outcasts, so they've accepted that. But yeah, I think that was smart of her to go up to Kevin and at least start talking game, so they have some sort of rapport with each other. But I think it's going to be short lived, and I don't think Kevin's going to take it seriously. It seems like Kevin may not be taking a lot of it seriously because he has like this double personality thing going on. Like he's trying to play one person in the diary room, but then someone else in the house. But I think the person in the house is more who he is real wise, and the person in the diary room is more of the act. That's what I'm thinking, because it's hard to put on an act just in the house for however many hours and days you're in there, and then the diary room just take off all the layers and be free. I think it's vice versa. I think who he really is closer to what's going on in the house.
It seems like Jess and Kyle also now have like final two situation going on. Kevin, what I kept calling Kyle. There is a Kyle. Sorry, Kevin and Jess now have a final two situation. It looks like they're trying to be buddy-buddy, but like in a secret way. I don't see that going far.
Yeah, that whole... So my prediction earlier was like there would be two of our groups and maybe a group of outcasts. Well, so far we have the Sasha 7 and then the two...
Savage 7.
The two outcasts, where they said they're pretending to be outcasts, but if you're pretending to be something...
They are outcasts.
Yeah, they said they're pretending to be socially awkward with other people. That's what they said to each other. But if you're pretending to be socially awkward, you're being socially awkward. So it's not an act if that's what if that's what you're doing. It's real. Mm-hmm. So that just sort of, like, to me, their ego has to be so inflated, and just, what is their reality? Because they think they're doing this whole big charade and fooling everyone, but they're not. They're outcasts. They're pretending to be the outcasts, but they are the outcasts, and they will not win. Neither one of them. I'm calling it now. Jess or Kevin, neither one will win.
I don't see any of them winning. Jess is extremely unlikable, and so is Kevin.
Now, Jay, this whole like last episode, they were like, I'm going to do drama. I'm going to start some drama. I'm going to stir the pot. Where's the drama? The only drama Jay is starting is during the POV when they were getting frustrated and throwing things on the ground. There's no drama that Jay is doing.
No, I think maybe he might be in a defeated state. But I think I don't know why, and I can't really gather the like target that Marty has on them. The target that Marty has on them, it doesn't make sense to me. And the fact that like he literally tells the whole house like, Jay's my target, you are a pawn. Like, what? What if he's not, like, what if he doesn't leave the house? Like, you're really, like, putting a huge target on you. And especially if he's a likable character, people like him. Hello, next time you don't win HOH, you are the target.
Yeah.
It's just putting blood on your hands for what? For Jay? He doesn't seem like that big of a competitor.
Yeah, but what Marty ended up doing, and I think it was Kyle who sort of planted this seed, but it was brilliant gameplay, is putting Betty on the block, because Betty, we saw that conversation earlier, Betty Helena and others were thinking about keeping Jay. So with Betty on the block, that's a number that Jay doesn't have on eviction night. So I think that was a smart gameplay, putting Betty up instead of Kevin, because Kevin will vote with Marty. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that Betty's like, I'm going to go around the house and tell everyone what a liar Marty is. Like, that's not a good idea. You need to take a chill pill. Maybe do that next week. But if you do that before eviction, if you're the loudest one in the room, you're giving yourself a bigger target. So you yelling that Marty's a liar and stirring the pot might cause you to go home instead of Jay. So if I were her, I would be frustrated, because that whole conversation, it was like she was trying to put those words in Marty's mouth. It's like he didn't want to volunteer that fact. He was hesitant to say she was safe in the first place. It took him a while to say, yeah, put your feet up, which doesn't necessarily even mean you're safe per se. But it's just, I don't know. People know Marty is good for his word, because people told him to put Stephanie up a couple times throughout the week. And he said, no, I'm going to honor my word. So, like, she can go around saying that, but people will see that the action of him not putting Stephanie up, he does keep his word. So that's sort of not helpful in her case too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that Marty's playing a good game. I don't think that his HOH, I think it's just too early to be doing an HOH that's like, I'm going to get blood on my hands and I'm going to, like, it's just too much. And I also feel like, I don't know. I just don't think that Marty's going to last long either. I think next week is going to be a huge target on him.
I don't know. I think Marty is powwowing pretty well with Kyle and Gino, and I think he's going to have a decent game. I don't think Marty will win, but I think he's going to go pretty far, probably to jury. That's my prediction.
Predictions. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode.
For this edition of Ember and BTL Talk, Big Brother Canada Season 10, I am BTL.
And I'm Ember.
And maybe we'll come up with a shorter name next time.